Welcome back to the Catapult Effect podcast. I am your host, Katie Wrigley. I am so excited to bring you this episode today because this is a very first in the Catapult Effect. I have a client with me who I have had the honor of working with for about the past year. And we've taken a couple breaks in there, but for the most part, we've been working consistently for a year. And she is an absolutely incredible human being. And what she has been able to do for herself, even prior to starting to work with me, is absolutely amazing. And so we are bringing her on next. So stay tuned. That is coming right up.
Welcome to the Catapult Effect, a podcast where professionals like you turn challenges into opportunities for extraordinary growth. If you're tired of struggling, feeling lost, and ready to catapult yourself into the best version of you, then you're in the right place. Here's your host, Katie Wrigley.
Thank you again for joining me today. And today I have with me a wonderful human being coming out of Norway. And I'm going to do my best to say her last name correctly, but I have a really hard time enunciating some words. I have with me the lovely Anita Eganaes. Did I say that right? Yeah, hey, I did. Okay, awesome. She is coming to us live from Norway today. And Anita, I would love if you can just let the listener know like what your life was looking at before you found CognoMovement, like what your day-to-day existence was and what some of the struggles that you were having.
I was very sick. I've been sick all my life. I'm searching for something to getting better in my life. I have been coach, NLP, everything with the body I have learned, but I still miss something.
Mm-hmm.
And I get some better. And in 2017, I was trying suicide because I couldn't deal with the pain anymore.
Mm-hmm.
But suddenly I saw something in I was searching for something to release my pain, and afterwards I suddenly saw the pain changer. So I get the email from you and read this one, and then I saw CognoMovement and wonder what the heck is that. So I went in and saw the CognoMovement, and then I bought, of course, courses, essential, and started with myself. And my list was long, very long.
That's awesome. And I also have a long list, full disclosure. So what started to shift as you started to do the CognoMovement Essentials, which for the listener who may not have heard of this before, it's actually a video bundle that the CognoMovement team, Liz Larson and Bill McKenna, the creator and co-creator of CognoMovement, they put together this beautiful module set that you have access to for life. It teaches you how to do a CognoMovement session on your own, and you can start to use those videos to start to help yourself with whatever it is you're working through. So, Anita, what did you notice started to change once you started to do CognoMovement's Essentials?
Oh, my brain went, you know. I start with the easy ones first, and then my list get longer and longer and longer, and I felt more and more the big ones. So I bought more courses to take the big ones, and then I found you to take session with you. So it has been, you can't even explain it because you have to live it. You have to feel it. You have to do it. Because the changes is so big in every area. I could almost had problem with my legs, my hips, my back, my everything. I could I have trouble with walking, exercising, breathing, everything, and no, it's all gone.
All gone. Oh my gosh. So when you say you had trouble walking, and you live on a farm, correct, Anita?
Yes.
Which means that there is a lot to do every single day to take care of the animals, to take care of the land, to take care of all the things. Were you able to do that prior to finding CognoMovement? How difficult was it to keep up with
It
the
was
day-to-day
very
duty?
difficult. I was in the bed for a couple, 3 days, and then get up again, and so in bed again, and lots of pain. So when the snow come this year, I think I was the only one who was sharing on the snow in Norway because I could do the shuffling.
Yep.
Yes. So I'm so excited. I'm
Yeah.
so good. Everything is okay now with my body.
I love that. So it
Yeah.
used to be that you had to be in bed for 2 to 3 days at a time. How
Yeah.
much energy do you have now, Anita?
Oh my God. Wow. It's like you have been waking up again from the
Yeah.
life. You can do. I can do everything. I have more energy than the people who is not sick.
Yep.
So I'm like Duracell, you know, the battery Duracell.
Yep. Or the little the Energizer bunny with the little bunny on the drum. Yeah.
No problem with energy now. No problem.
Yeah. Oh, and it's been so awesome to watch you on this journey too. And I want to go back to what you said about shoveling snow because we had a conversation about that with one of our sessions. And I had experienced something similar the first year I was here. The guy that plows my driveway, he also shoveled for me because that was not available at that point in time. And then the year after that, I was like, oh, I can actually do this. And so now, like, now the novelty of being able to shovel is kind of over. So I'm like, oh, I got to shovel. But for the last 3 years, I'm like, I can shovel. And it may seem counterintuitive if you've never lost the ability to do something. The things that used to feel like chores wind up actually feeling like gifts and privileges because you are able to do them again. And so it's kind of an extra bonus of doing this level of healing is that the stuff that you used to resent, now you're so excited because, oh,
Yeah.
I can do this again. I can do it again.
Yeah.
Nice. So how has this impacted your relationships in the world, Anita? Do you feel like therapy, you're closer to people or more disconnected? How has this been on the relationships in your life?
Oh my God. So much has happening. I have people have gone out, of course, and new people have come in, of
Hmm.
course,
Hmm.
because I've changed my frequency and the nervous system and all that. Um, and the stress in the body is like almost like zero every day. And
Wow.
that's also very nice.
Yeah, that is.
Um, and now I don't care so much about other stuff, other people's. I can help them in that kind of way, but it's not mine.
Mm, So more clear boundaries of what's
Yeah,
yours, what's not yours.
yeah.
Beautiful. Awesome. And you already mentioned all the ways that it's helped your health. And
Oh, yeah.
then if you look at the spiritual side of life, or what a lot of people in America refer to as religion, depending on your upbringing, what has changed, if anything, in the spiritual practices that you have, Anita, since CognoMovement?
I am a very spiritual person. I've always been talking to whoever is there to talk to me. And after Cogno, I can hear much more clearly what they are saying to me.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's, I want more, of course, but now I'm so open that I can sit in a conversation and suddenly somebody's coming and tell the person what to do to help them.
Wow.
So it's much more downloading, if you could call it downloading. And I always have been traveling out of my body in the night, but now I can more say where to and what to and what kind of problem I want to resolve, and boom, the next day it is
Wow.
there. So everything is much clearer, much
That's,
more in contact with yourself.
and if we look at how this is happening or why, like depending on what someone's belief system is, and there's a lot, but I personally believe there is a higher power. It's just been undeniable to me. Like, honestly, believing in a God is the only way it makes sense that I'm still alive with all the things that I've done over the course of my life. Like, that's the only way it makes sense. Like, seriously. Even my best friend who identifies as atheist, she's like, you weren't wrong. Like, actually, I think I may believe you, Katie. But when we clear out these lower level energies, and what I mean by that is shame, guilt, anger, fear, these are really heavy energies on the physical body. And when you're running a pattern that has shame, guilt, fear, grief, any of those really draining emotions, it's pulling away from being in a higher vibration, and everything in the spiritual realm is a higher vibration. So you don't have as much access to it purely on an energetic level. And this is something that I've seen and witnessed firsthand and through other clients and other practitioner friends, is feeling more connected to source, feeling like everything is so much clearer. And it really heightens intuition as well, and we've actually been able to prove with science. We have the chakra system in the body. It used to be considered woo. Science has proven it's there. And the one right on your forehead, that's our intuition, that gut sense that tells you when to get out of Dodge, when you should stay. That gets stronger and stronger. So that's been part of your experience as well, Anita?
Yes. Yes.
Nice. Awesome. And then, without divulging details, because this is very personal to a lot of people, has your financial life shifted or improved or been impacted at all?
I have not had so much trouble in that area, but it's more like, I know now that abundance of all is coming. I don't have to know where it's coming from. It's just coming.
Beautiful. I
So
love that.
you don't use lots of energy to think about it.
Yep.
That's
Yeah.
very
Like,
nice.
I think it's Dr. Joe Dispenza that says, like, you put your energy out there into the things you can't see, and you just trust and let it do its thing.
Yes.
Yeah, that is beautiful. I'm so happy for you, and I'm so excited for all the things that you've been able to create for yourself. So, for someone who may be doing CognoMovement, or maybe they're curious about CognoMovement and they aren't really sure which way to go, would you be able to speak to how it helped you before you started to work with me one-on-one doing sessions, and then what changed for you when you started to do that one-to-one work with me?
It was very easy with the videos from Bill and Essential and all this, because you can do it with the video on, and you can do it over and over and over again. But then it comes to a more bigger problem, and maybe problem you don't want to see or don't want to feel, but they are there. Then you have to reach out to a practitioner, because that's just one session and boom, you're over. Big ones. So I take all the small ones for myself, but the big ones is more difficult, because I used to say you are not a prophet in your own country. You have to use somebody else who can help you
Yeah.
to see things from outside and in. So for me, it's very important to, when I come to this resistance and I know something is there, it's more bigger and I can feel it all over the place, then I take a session with a practitioner, and that's you.
Nice. Yeah. And
It will be a waste of.
you answered that question so perfectly. Like, it almost, like, just to the person listening, we didn't script that. But I actually had that exact same conversation with someone last night who's going through something big. She's a practitioner. She's wonderful. I was like, hey, have you reached out to anybody? Nope, but I'm doing it on my own. Like, awesome, you're doing it on your own. And when I refer to those as the boulders in our nervous system, right? Like, when there's a boulder that needs to get out of the way, we're going to want some help to roll it. But if it's like the size of a soccer ball, or it's a little smaller, it's just a rock that maybe it takes some effort to pick up, but we're able to do it, those are the sessions we can do on our own. But that big stuff, like, it's been there for a while. It's at the subconscious level. So it's really easy to blow by the cues that are pointing to it in the places where you're actually able to access it. So I love that as the answer you gave, Anita. And that's the best way to utilize CognoMovement. And Liz and Bill will say the same thing of like, they do their sessions all the time, but when they have something big, they reach out to each other to help themselves work through those boulders in their nervous systems. We all do that.
Yes. And it's very important that you do the session also, because I have people say to me, wow, how do you do it? I just do it like this and like this. Yes, sometimes, another time. And I say, okay, but you can do it now and you can be finished with it. So it's like it's a very much resistance about doing it. But that's the whole point.
Mm-hmm.
Do it and you're over.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah. And that it's funny, that resistance thing. I've probably spent more time and energy in resistance than in doing the work. It's like less and less the more I do it. So at this point, I'm like, this is stupid to be in resistance. You already know how this works. Like the resistance is the worst part. It really is. The fear of facing it and the resistance to it, that is the worst part. I'm not going to say that the next part isn't going to be easy, but you're already in the worst part. It's not going to be any worse. It really won't. Would you agree, Anita?
Yes, because I have always been a person, if I find something I'm afraid of, I just go for it. Because I can't bear to have things I'm afraid or stop me. Oh, yeah. So just jump in.
Jump in. That is a good way to do it. And that, I mean, there's a lot of science behind that. Mel Robbins talks about the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 to get ourselves up and going, because the longer we have to think about something, the less likely we are to do it. So being able to just, oh, that scares me. Let's go.
Yeah.
Like your mind doesn't have time to think. It's like, we're doing it. Okay, let's go pay attention. But you don't have time to be as scared because now you're in action. You don't have time to think about how you feel about it.
Yes, fear is only something you are playing with yourself to get it something excitement here. So it's okay.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. So what are you looking forward to next, Anita? What are you most excited about now?
Oh, to live my life like I want, with happiness, passion, humor, love, abundance, with nature and Mother Earth, whatever, with kind people who are helping each other, and just go with the flow, that everybody can do whatever they want to do. That's my goal.
I love that. And I want to touch on something you had shared when you were introducing yourself at the beginning of the episode. And you had said, I believe it was in 2017, where you had actually attempted suicide because you couldn't handle the pain anymore. How far away does that version of Anita feel from who you are now?
Oh
8
my God,
years
she's
later.
gone. She's gone.
Good. I'm so
It's
glad.
No more thinking, no more wondering. No, it's completely gone.
Good. I'm really glad to hear that. And It's so exciting to see what's going to be coming next. Do you still experience any pain at all? And it's okay if you do. Just curious, like what's changed with that? So we already talked about how much more you're able to do now, but are you still experiencing any physical pain at all, Anita?
After session, the body can, I can feel the brain in the start where there was lots of pain because of the brain was working. Mm-hmm. And my sight is something I see very well, and then I see bad again. And now I'm pretty honest, and I have bled down there after every session, mm-hmm. but not last one. So that's good.
Yep.
So it's very rare what the body is doing after session, but it lasts maybe 1, 2, 3 days and it's gone.
Beautiful.
So that's the pain I experience now, but I don't know that it's gone again. So pain in my body now. Now then I have to hit me, I think, something. I don't have any pain. No.
Good. And I want to just expand on what you were sharing, because this is a real outcome that can happen with a CognoMovement session. You can have a period of time where you actually feel a little less comfortable than you did ahead of time. It's temporary. And also the reason that Anita didn't start bleeding after the last period is we've kind of modified what we're doing. I figured out what was triggering the headaches and the discomfort. So we scaled back a little bit. So we're still able to do an effective session together, but the movements aren't so big. So it's not as disruptive to the nervous system. And so that's one of the things as a practitioner that I do is, and it takes a couple times to learn someone's nervous system. And I like to err on the side of caution. And Anita is a badass. I can really push her nervous system. I can't do that with everybody else. And because everybody's nervous system is different. And so when I can push it, I'm going to, because that's going to be the best outcome for you and have the most impact. But the last thing I want to do with someone who's in chronic pain is make them feel worse for even a few days. So that's been one of the things I've been really working on as a practitioner. And so I'm glad that you really openly shared, yes, there is some discomfort after a session, but then you feel so much better and it's continuing to move forward and build for you.
Yes. Also, in the beginnings there, when I was learning, there's always a small session. Also, I was a little bit dizzy. Also, I felt the heart was banging, and but I understood that had something to do with the session.
Yep. Yeah. And so when we're dealing with the nervous system, which is the master system in the body. So this means that because it's the master system, it's going to touch the other systems in the body, including endocrine, which I may be wrong, but I think endocrine has the hormones as part of it, or that may be a separate system, but it's going to hit every system in there. And so I have had many women who are perimenopause or menopause report that they started to get their period again, or for women who are struggling with it when they're younger or still in reproductive years, they've mentioned that we've actually smoothed it out and made it easier. One of my colleagues actually in the UK, she focuses solely her CognoMovement practice around women with menopause to help make it easier for them. So we are 100% touching the hormonal system in there as we're working the nervous system and putting the body into a more resourceful state.
Yes.
And so what Anita's talking about, that can happen. Sometimes people don't feel much of anything. And sometimes people forget what even happened in a session.
Oh, yeah.
We call that cognoamnesia. So one last question, Anita, before we start to wrap up, and it'll be second to last because I'm going to leave it with you, just giving a piece of advice to everybody. But how important would you say patience is with the CognoMovement process? Because I hear a lot of mixed things from other clients, but I'm curious from your own perspective, because you've done a lot of CognoMovement at this point, you've made incredible results. How important would you say patience is to this process?
I will put it like that. If you want yourself to do well, feel well, and get the results you want in life, then I had. It's like you are investing in yourself. It's like, okay, I'm feeling bad. Okay, do I have to do that? No, I don't have to do that. If I just take 5 minutes with Cogno, and it's over.
Yep.
So it's like you are, if there's something you like very, very well, and you go buy it, and you finish about 5 seconds to drink it or eat it, or so. It's like that. This is good for me. I do it, and that's over.
Nice.
So it's more like I see it as investing in myself. And when I invest in myself, everything else also change.
Yes.
That is so crazy positive with Cogno. Everything is so amazing because everything is so positive. So invest in yourself, yes, If you don't are patient with yourself, do a Cogno session. Take you 5 minutes. It's over.
Love it.
But don't push yourself. Do it when you want to do it. When you feel like, oh, maybe I should do something good for myself now.
Yes.
Do it.
Yeah. It is important that we're ready to do this work because it can be grueling. Sometimes it's not fun. The outcome is always worth it, but sometimes the process, it sucks. I'll be honest. Like, I don't think enough people call that out as a truth, is sometimes when we're in the middle of it, it's messy. It doesn't look good. It sucks ass, and we want everything to move forward. And then this beautiful thing emerges from that. But that can be a part of it. And and then it can be helping yourself to do it even when you don't feel like it. But being ready is really important. And that doesn't mean that you're not still scared. The fear is normal.
Yes.
But you'll know when you're ready, because the idea of life continuing the way it is not something that appeals to you. When you're at that point, you're ready.
I used to say to people if they hurt or whatever, I say, okay, what are they doing for you? Why will you keep it?
Yes.
Is there something positive for you to keep it?
Yep.
And then they find the answer, and then I ask, okay, is there something you want to do forward, or do you want to do it and put something else in now? And it's many people will do it at once, but many people also want to wait.
Yep.
So, but that's okay.
Yep, I love that. It absolutely is.
Progress, if you have 10 progress in a year or 1 progress, doesn't matter. You're doing it.
Yep.
You go forward.
Yes. That is beautiful, wonderful advice. Whatever progress you're making, the progress is what we celebrate. Not how much. It's any progress is worth celebrating. Yes. Any step. Yes. Celebrate it, please. So that was great advice. Is there any other advice you want to leave the listener with today before we wrap up, Anita?
Is it allowed to thank you? I want to thank you for every session because you are amazing. You are have so many skills, especially with the pain. And if you don't know what you feel or what you are going to take, you can just talk to you and you catch it and we do it. So you are so good at what you are doing. And especially for people who have lots of pain, chronic pain, trauma, you are just perfect for that.
Oh my gosh! Thank you.
So good. You're just knowing it. So thank you.
Oh my goodness. I'm speechless. I wasn't expecting that. Thank you so much, Anita, from the bottom of my heart. I love working with you. You are so much fun to work with, and you make so much progress every session. You make my job easier because you show up, and any resistance you may have had, I don't see it when we get into the session. You show up and you bring it, and I have so much respect for anyone who shows up with the level of commitment that you do. Thank you for that.
Yes. Thank you for you.
All right. Well, that is a wonderful note of gratitude to end. So thank you to the listener for joining us today. I know you have a lot of things to listen to on the web, and I really just thank you for taking the time to listen to this show and taking something that you can implement into your life and help improve not only your quality of life, but the quality of life of those you love as well. So join me again next week. We're going to have another amazing episode. And until then, please be well.
Thank you for joining us today. If you enjoyed this episode, please share it with a friend and leave a 5-star review, which helps grow the podcast and reach others just like you. While you're at it, connect with Katie on social media. You can find her on LinkedIn, TikTok, Facebook, and Instagram as @CoachKTDubs. That's CoachKTDubs. This has been the Catapult Effect with Katie Wrigley. Thanks for listening.